Hello, today we're going to talk about a controversial topic. It may make some people angry, and hopefully it'll at least make you think. You can make your own choices and decisions. We're going to talk about some of the impacts that China has had on our hobby. I talked about this before. They get free shipping because they claim to be a developing nation. So as the countries of Australia, England, United States, Canada have to subsidize their products, the rates on domestic shippers go up. I've been doing this for 9 years. My international rates are through the roof. The increases happen every January because we have to subsidize the products coming in from China. And if you go on eBay and Amazon, they've got a significant presence. However, we're not allowed to sell on their online marketplaces. It's against their rules. So the overall intent of this video is to show you that we're playing by two different sets of rules. So essentially, Chinese manufacturing in war games term is broken. And they're driving a lot of American sellers off eBay and off Amazon. About 40% of American Amazon sellers are now based in China. And the free shipping, I don't think they really deserve it because they're no longer a developing country. When you control the vast majority of the world's e-commerce, I don't think you really need a subsidy to help you get started. So that has upset a lot of people in the online sellers market, and it's a little shocking when people find this out. Here's a second issue: IP protection. There are none. They can make anything they want. They can sell it. So in this instance, this was a kickstarted figure. It's now for sale on AliExpress, with free shipping. And in this instance, the manufacturer went to China as a supplier, and the supplier just continued to make a few extra products out of the mold when they were done shipping them. So this is an actual straight-up pirated item. They, dirt cheap. This is straight up, they buy one, make a copy of it. There's Games Workshop Space Marines, there's Bretonians, there's all kind of stuff for sale. Again, free shipping, very cheap, total IP ripoff. And, in this instance, I understand, that I personally don't want to buy this particular item because of that. But for example, a product like this, the American-based company went to China to save money. Okay? They went to China to save money. But as a consumer, they want to guilt you into not going to China to save money. So they didn't look out for you as a worker, but you're supposed to look out for them as a company. And that's kind of hard to do. So in this instance, I understand people going there. The interesting thing about this IP infringement is a lot of the forums won't even mention it. They just completely ignore it and pretend it's not there, as if people are too dumb to do a Google search and find it themselves. But the problem is there. You can ignore it, but they are pirating IP, and that impacts, the hobby industry as well. Although to a certain extent, the people that went there to China to begin with, I don't understand how they expect people to not support them. Here's another issue. Whether you care or not, it's up to you as an individual. They have some serious workplace problems going on in China, the way the employees are treated. This goes back to the whole poor employees, rich customers mentality that a lot of businesses try to employ. And you can have a significant markup with that. And there are also some environmental issues with China, which I'll discuss a little bit later too. But the conditions in the factories are a little bad, and Henry Ford started the concept of paying his workers enough to buy a Ford. So he sort of began the middle class in America. And now with this outsourcing everything to China, it's kind of eroded that. So, that's a little shocking when you start reading some of the stories of how people are treated. It gets worse. This goes back to the environmental things. They're actually sending toxic products. They're not just polluting the environment. A lot of the products are unsafe that they're sending back. And this includes toys with lead-based paint on them for children. I know my grandbaby stubs everything and chews everything, so, it is a consideration that, that they should look out for their customers, but they really don't. This is one that I find interesting, the whole thing about raising food in sewage and then selling it abroad. So, you go to the store, you buy some shrimp, and you're thinking, well, I like to eat shrimp, but the shrimp could have been raised in toxic industrial sludge or human sewage. And that's fine, and then it comes to you and you eat it. So, I don't know if you're like me, but when I found that out, I was a bit taken aback. I thought, what? My shrimp was raised in sewage? Hold on a minute. This is ridiculous. But it gets a lot worse. the way that they handled this virus situation has made the whole global problem, really made it worse. And they're continuing to do this. They're not handling it well. They're not taking ownership of it. Legitimately, if someone stubs their toe, they can sue me. Apparently, China can slaughter half the world's population, and there's no repercussion. I'm not sure that's really fair. But once again, there's a double standard. There's two sets of rules. So, this is just something that's on my mind about. I'm not going to back any more Kickstarters from China. I don't care how deliciously juicy and tempting the products are. I'm done. I'm going to offer you some hope on the other end of things. But yeah, it's, I get lectured. People snap at me. They call me ignorant when I mention this. But it just bugs me the way that they behave on a global scale. So take a look at this stuff over here. Old Glory Miniatures made in Pennsylvania. Pretty fine stuff. They're nice people to work with, too. These are the Nordvalk Barbarians, some of the finest barbarians you ever see. Black Tree Design. I buy them out of Texas. I believe they're a UK-based company. As far as I know, they're not made in China. And they got some great old school stuff. One of my favorites, Pioneer Slot Cars, the guy who supplies the chassis for my slot cars, made in the UK. He started coming out of China and got so frustrated he moved his entire factory back to the UK. I think that's very impressive that he manages to produce, assemble, and paint these products in a first world country. And his prices are slightly higher than Carrera, which are made in China, but not significantly. And they're wonderful, wonderful cars, some of the best ever made. And Renedra is based in the UK. They do a lot of injection molding for companies. And so you do have options. I just want to tell you that. So it's just my thoughts that I think people are going to have to, maybe rethink where they buy things. So, all right, thanks for watching.